10, welcome back with our reading and writing video, Unit 1 North Star, Sports and Obsession. Yes, today we're going to study from Reading 2. Reading 2, High School Star Hospitalized for Eating Disorder. That's the article that we're going to read today. Okay, first things first, read. Look at the bold-faced words and phrases in the reading and think about the questions. Okay. So we already know the bold-faced words are the words that are in our vocabulary for Unit 1. Here we see complications and we see pressure, accomplished. Yeah, those are the words that we see that are bold-faced in our article. Now, before we continue, I really would like to show you where you can find the vocabulary for Unit 1, Reading and Writing. Now that is in your book at page 206. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, let me show it to you. Means that we go to page 206. There we go. The unit word list of Unit 1. Now we've got several words all put together. Accomplished, challenge, complications, daring, do or die, enormous, focused, impressive, inspire, obsession, pressure, risk, unthinkable, and willingness. As you can see, the words that are grouped together for Unit 1 in reading and writing are different from the ones that are grouped for you in Unit 1 for listening and speaking. So the words in this book are for your journal. Use them when you write. And the words that are in the book for listening and speaking are for your speaking test and your log. Cool beans. Now, if you go one page back, you see the compilation of grammar. And we focus on the first column, okay? The North Star Reading and Writing Level 3 4th edition. Then you can see that in the first unit, our focus is on ability. How can we express ability by the usage of the words can, could, and be able to? And so on and so on, up till Unit 8. Yes, awesome. Now, we're going to go back to Reading 2, High School Star Hospitalized for Eating Disorder. Something. Okay, so look at the bold-faced words. We did that just now, yeah? The few words that are standing out are the words, the vocabulary words for now, for this reading section. Let's read the questions and think about it. Number 1, which words or phrases do you know the meaning of? If, for example, you don't know the words, then you can look them up. Use your search engine to look it up. Maybe you can write the definition or make a margin note next to the word in your textbook of what the word means. And number 2, can you use any of the words or phrases in a sentence? Okay, now we continue with number 2. You read the newspaper article about a high school gymnast. Now I want to take a look at this article first. As you can see it here, the title, High School Star Hospitalized for Eating Disorder, and I will look at the outline of this writing. It looks like an article. Now in this case, it is a newspaper article. They're mostly written and don't have subheadings, but any other articles you might know have subheadings, subtitles, right? Smaller titles in between. Yeah, well, with a newspaper article, we mostly don't. You see that? So they have paragraphs, but no subheadings. Okay. Okay, I'm going to give you some time right now to read the newspaper article about a high school gymnast. And then after that, you're going to answer some questions. Now, what you are supposed to do, based on what we learned in our last video, Reading 1, we learned that it is important to do previewing and then we do skimming. So I want to review that today. So the first thing you do is you preview. So let's say you look for the type of text. What type of text is this? Yes, exactly. We just talked about that. It's a newspaper article, exactly. And the purpose of a newspaper article is to inform. Yes, is to inform. So it's factual, yeah? Now, knowing that and knowing the title, then you will skim your text. Now, when you skim, you're basically looking for the main idea of the whole text. Now, the main idea of a text always consists of only one sentence. It's really only one sentence that covers the whole text. And to do so, we will read the first paragraph, the introduction, the topic sentence of each first sentence, and if there is a conclusion, we read the concluding paragraph. Some texts don't have a concluding paragraph because they are excerpts. So an excerpt means it is not the complete text, but just a part of the complete text. And then sometimes they skip the conclusion. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to skim with you so you have an idea how to skim. Okay, let's go. Vista High School gymnast Ashley Jones was hospitalized Tuesday for complications related to anorexia nervosa. Her coach, Diane Coyle, says that she will not be returning to the gymnastics team this season. It's really a loss, not only to the team, but also to Ashley personally, says Cole. Dr. Paul Kim, director of the Eating Disorders Clinic at Santa Anita Hospital, explains that it is not unusual for athletes, especially gymnasts, to become obsessed with their weight. For the anorexic, the mental focus becomes very small: food and weight. High school counselor Lisa Rodriguez has expressed concern that Jones' illness is related to pressure. There is an enormous amount of pressure that goes along with the training for the Olympics, she says. Since joining the Vista High gymnastics team as a sophomore 2 years ago, Ashley has broken all school records and led the team to 3 regional championships. Coach Cole says, as soon as I met Ashley, I could tell right away that she was obsessed with the sport. Cole's concern for Jones' health is shared by her teammates and friends. Jones, who currently weighs only 72 pounds, that is 32.6 kilos, is expected to remain in hospital for at least a few months. That's super, super skinny. That is cold skimming. So you read the introductory paragraph, the topic sentence, which is the first sentence of every body paragraph, and you read the concluding paragraph. And from that, you come up with one sentence that covers the whole text, and that is called a main idea. Garis besar. Yeah, main idea. Now, what is important is that you annotate while you skim. And we also talked about that in the last video. Annotating is when you underline, circle, or exactly highlight. Yeah, you can also make margin notes. If you do margin notes, then you're just writing on the empty space next to the paragraph, either left here at this side or at the right side. You are adding some keywords. Yeah. So while you're skimming, you annotate, you underline or circle the keywords. So you underline, circle keywords here in the introduction, especially in the last sentence, which is the topic and the purpose. And in every first sentence of every body paragraph, you will annotate the keywords that shows the topic of the paragraph, since every body paragraph has its own subtopic. Got it? Awesome, great. So we got that one covered, yeah? So we've got previewing, what is the type of text and what is the purpose of the text, gives us focus. And second is skimming, when you read the introduction, every topic sentence, and a concluding paragraph to get the main idea. Awesome. Now you can pause your video and read the text. So the first thing I'd like you to do is skim the text. We did that already together, so now you can read the text. Go ahead. Okay, now we are at comprehension. So what you're going to do now is you're going to circle the best answer to complete the statement. So we are going to complete the sentences. Number one, we're going to do together. Ashley's coach hopes that she will leave the hospital, and is it A or B, focus on her health, or join the Olympic team? Yeah, of course, it's A. It's focus on her health. 32.6 kilos, that's like super, super skinny. Yes, it is A. Now, take some time to answer number 2, 3, 4, and 5. You can do that now. Great, well done. We continue with reading skills. So just now, when I explained about skimming, that is a reading skill. So we basically have 5. The first one is previewing, and then the second one is skimming, and then question analysis, and we go to intensive reading, and then we go back to question analysis, and then we scan, and then we answer the questions. So we focus on previewing, skimming, scanning. Those are 3, plus question analysis, very important, and intensive reading. And with all of these skills, from previewing to skimming to question analysis, active reading, and also scanning, all 5, you have to use annotation. Except for scanning, you don't. But the other 4, you always have to annotate, okay? We'll get to the other four later on. Okay, read a statement from reading 2 again, and then answer the questions. Ashley had hopes of qualifying for the Olympics, but her health comes first, of course. Once she's better, I'm sure she can get back into the sport and go for the gold. Who's speaking here? You have any idea? And is it Ashley speaking or someone else? And how do you know? How do you know who's speaking? Okay, write that one down right now, and we will discuss that during our Zoom in the next meeting. Take a minute to jot it down. Okay. A point that we are going to emphasize on today is recognizing quotations and reported speech. In writing, in texts, writers write things exactly how other people have said it, so we would quote it, so that is with quotations. And sometimes we like to report what someone else has said, but we don't state it directly, and that is reported speech. So in a news article, both quotations and also reported speech are used, both. Yeah, a quotation includes quotation marks, so it shows that a person's exact words are being reported. For example, here it says, it's really a loss, not only to the team, but also to Ashley personally, says Coyle. So that is an example of a quotation. You see here the quotation marks, and then the comma, quotation marks, and then who said it. But we also have reported speech. That does not include quotation marks and is an explanation of what someone has said. So not the exact words. In reported speech, different words may be used to express the original meaning. Her coach, Diane Cole, says that she will not be returning to the gymnastics team this season. That is reported speech. You see, there are no quotation marks here, neither are there here. Most news articles include the names of several people. Now, as you read news articles, it is important to pay attention to names of people and also to pronouns that refer to these people, like he, she, yeah, and so on. This will help you to keep track of what people in the article have done and said. So as a result, you will understand the article more clearly. So keep in mind who said what. And in a news article, that is very obviously used. Okay, both reported and quoted with the names of the speaker. Okay, we continue with number 2. You're going to answer the questions about reading 2. The first one we're going to do together. Read paragraph 2. Is this a quotation or reported speech? What do you think? It's a quotation, exactly. Yeah. And number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is your turn to do. Okay, you can pause your video to answer those questions. Awesome. Okay, that leads us to the last part of reading 1, which is connect the readings. Yeah. The first step is organizing. What you see here is a picture of 2 circles that are intertwined, and we call this a Venn diagram. This is a Venn diagram, and Venn diagrams are used to show comparison and contrast, similarities and differences. So let's say in this part of the circle is the difference, this part of the circle is the difference, and in the middle part of the circle that becomes this very unique shape, these are the similarities of both parts. So here it talks about Alex Honnold, and then here Ashley Jones. But in the middle, it mentions the thing that they both have in common. And that's why we use Venn diagrams for comparison and contrast. Look at the list of characteristics and the Venn diagram. Now put the characteristics that describe Alex Honnold in the left circle and the characteristics that describe Ashley Jones in the right circle. And then the ones that describe both athletes you write in the middle part where the 2 circles overlap. Okay, now this is about 2 people and 2 readings. Okay, this is connecting reading 1, the text in reading 1, the interview, and the text of today, which is in reading 2. Now you have the characteristics here: competitive, enjoyment of sports, strongly focused, need to feel in control, fearless, world seems beautiful, world seems scary, family is supportive, family adds pressure, obsession leads to success, obsession leads to illness, obsession related to being perfect. Now, which is which? I want you to fill it out in here. You can pause your video to do that. Good luck. Great, great work. Now, the next step is synthesizing. In the last listening video, I explained about what synthesizing is. Yeah, remember that we combine facts and sources together in order to create something new. So we are now synthesizing by combining the information of reading 1 with the information of reading 2. And what do we get? It's cool because we can more critically analyze both contexts. Now, what you're going to do, you complete the short essay about obsession with what you know about Alex Honnold in Ashley Jones. So you can look at the Venn diagram because the answers are in the Venn diagram. So for example, obsession can be helpful or destructive depending on the person. This can be clearly seen in 2 examples from the sports world. Alex Honnold and Ashley Jones are both strongly focused on their obsession, or their obsession leads to success in sports. Yeah, Alex Honnold and Ashley Jones are both strongly focused. Their obsession leads to success in sports. If you look at the Venn diagram and the answers that you had in the middle where it comes together, then you would have the answer strongly focuses first, and which continues with an obsession that leads to success in sports. Now what you do now is, in addition, what else do they have in common? So the first thing they have in common is they are strongly focused. Second is the obsession that leads to success. And there's one other thing they both have in common. Write that here. Now, however, this is a marker, a signal that shows us that there is a contrast. Means now we will probably talk about the things that are different, not the things that they have in common. There are important differences between them. Alex Honnold, and then you show what Alex Honnold has, and then Ashley Jones, also what that is. So basically put the information from your Venn diagram here into this short essay. You can pause your video to do that. Awesome. Okay, that brings us to the end of this video. It is a shorter video today. Reading 2, high school star hospitalized for eating disorder. We read a news article knowing that the news article has very clear paragraphs, mentions clearly the speakers who are speaking, uses quoted and reported speech, right? We talked about a reading skill that is previewing, predicting topic and purpose to create focus, to know what to read for, and skimming, which is reading the introductory paragraph, every topic sentence of each body paragraph, and the concluding paragraph in order to get the main idea. And the main idea covers the whole text and is written only in one sentence. Now, if it comes to the quotation marks, we use those in order to write a good quotation. And of course, we have to add who said the quotation. In reported speech, the thing is that often when we use reported speech, we have to use the correct tense. If, for example, you would have the quotation, the quote, it would be, let's say, in the simple present, but then when I change that into a reported speech, then it would be the simple past. So basically from everything that is quoted, which we can also call direct speech, yeah, so quoted speech or quotation can also be called direct speech. From direct speech into reported speech, we have a change in tense. And for the present tense, everything changes to the past. Okay, so if we have the simple present, it becomes the simple past. If we have the present continuous, it becomes the past continuous. Yes. If you have the present perfect, it becomes past perfect. Very good. What about if I have the simple past? Now, if I have the simple past, it becomes past perfect. Yeah. If I have the past perfect, it stays past perfect. Yeah. If I have the past continuous, it becomes past perfect continuous. So basically, all the present tenses become past, right? And all the past tenses add a perfect in it. Like the simple past becomes the past perfect. So you add the word perfect to it. Exactly. Okay, guys, that was it for today. The last thing we did was connecting the readings, how reading 1 and 2 are connected, and trying to make that connection to see what the similarities are, what they have in common, and what the differences are, what they do not have in common, and seeing that in a Venn diagram. And that is called a synthesizing, when you combine sources in order to create something new. That was it for today. Thank you so much for joining. You did a great job today. Keep being enthusiastic about your learning, and we will see each other very soon again. God bless you. Bye.